Talks. Welcome, welcome. This is the third event for Welcome to Germany webinar series by DEGIS. We are very happy to have you here. Today's agenda, we will cover some introductions. Since we are a small team, I would encourage everybody to speak up during the introduction session rather than typing on the chat box. Of course, your first steps in Germany, what do you do? What would be your first few things that needs to be done irrespective of the city? Then, of course, you all filled out some questions in a form. So we will go through those questions. Then we will have networking space and any final questions as well. Feel free to interrupt during the call by raising your hand or writing in the chat box and then raising your hand so that we can have a quick discussion over any slide that confuses you. I am your host. My name is Aarushi. I am the DEGIS National President. I come from India and I'm a master's student in International Business Management. Who are we? We are DEGIS. We are the largest community for international students in Germany. Our mission is to support every international student in Germany to achieve their dreams and goals. Our online community count is around 37K members, and we have local teams in more than 45 different cities of Germany. We have a lot of volunteers who are very happy to help everybody, and we always are open to have more people join us in our volunteering teams. Let's do quick guest introductions. So instead of the chat box, please feel free to turn on your mics and cameras and tell me where are you coming from and which city are you going to. Later on, you can also keep sending your LinkedIns and Instagrams if you feel like on the chat box. We can start with, I don't know, Komal. Is she here? Oh, no. Okay, we can start with maybe Nihal. All right, we can move forward. About your first steps in Germany. So your first step would, of course, be, okay, we have received it. Hi, Nihal. Thank you for introducing yourself. And Hussein from Bangladesh. Okay. All right. So the first few things that you must, and there is Chanel from Sri Lanka as well. A few things that you must keep in mind when coming to Germany is the first thing that you pick is your semester ticket or the Deutschland ticket, which is your 49 euro ticket. Anmeldung is your city registration. That once you have your accommodation finalized and then you go to the university to submit your Anmeldung, to submit this Anmeldung document, and sometimes university also helps you gain the city registration appointment as well as directly the Anmeldung. I know one city, Aachen, definitely does that, and there might be more. However, in most cities, you have to do it independent of the university. You simply go online and find out where to do your city registrations, and there would be a registered department, which housing department, of course, which gets that done for you. This simply means, and this has to be done by everybody, even if you are moving from one city to another as a German citizen. You still have to do your city registration. This simply means that, okay, this is your official address. Right? Then you open your current bank account, then you unfreeze your blocked account and link them together to receive your funds for the first month from your blocked account. And then you will receive these following verification documents, which would be an insurance confirmation, personal identification number, the Steuer or tax ID, and of course, the banking documentations that your bank will either give you or send it by post. But they will explain you everything in the branch because these things even vary from branch to branch, let alone from bank to bank. Moving forward, few topics that you all wanted information for, and we have collaborated them within this deck of slides, is accommodation, the cash culture and forex card, bank account opening process and timelines, airport to small cities. Sometimes when your city does not have an international airport, how to reach from one city to another. Homesickness during winter and better integration. Extracurricular activities, of course, furthering your CV, which is like really important. Travel versus health insurance and cost of living. But before everything, in times of emergencies, which can also arrive even before you have arrived in Germany, or even before you have arrived in your city in Germany. So please remember these numbers: 110 for police, 112 for ambulance and fire, 116 and 117 for out of hours medical care, which would be like around, let's say, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, maybe later. And in general, if you forget, you can always dial 911 and you would know how many, like you would be transferred to the particular case of emergency helpline that you have. Moving forward, finding your dream home. So usual tips and tricks which are everywhere all the time are already available to you. You can also surf DEGIS network for more specialized portals. However, using these specialized portals is sometimes really very helpful. And one thing which it really helps is to find more people who can actually help you for even a temporary place. Because in some cities, due to the crazy influx of people, even that small term temporary accommodation becomes a hassle. Then whenever you send in your applications to these landlords, make sure that you put all relevant information about you. There are also people hiding behind the computers, and they would love to know if you are a good homekeeper, if you keep everything clean, if you are a student, and what is your purpose of finding this place. Uh, you might even bond on certain small things that you didn't even think of. For example, I wrote in my application that I make very good Indian food. And coincidentally, my German landlord, my first German landlord, was really interested in Indian food. He loved it. And that just sometimes helps. Yes, there are chances that it can backfire as well. But at least it's creative, and there are more chances that people would think that, okay, this person is genuinely interested as he put time in applying. Moving forward, please, I cannot emphasize more on this particular point, that carry enough emergency money in your first month. We'll talk more about how much that should be, but do not forget it. Germany is so much dependent on cash. So please carry enough cash in your wallet and carry enough emergency money for your first month. Anything can happen, and the only thing you can mainly rely on is money at that stage. So usually cards are very widely accepted. Forex cards also might work in some country and for some brands. But if it is not working, then cash is much highly appreciated. ATMs of banks other than your bank will also draw withdrawing taxes, which means maybe 5 euros also sometimes. Like if you want to take out 5 euros using your card, you might have to pay 5 more. That also happens, like because it is not based on the amount you withdraw, it's based on the number of transactions you are doing, like per transaction. So please do not forget to carry enough cash to get by your first month. Like imagine that irrespective of paying your rent, irrespective of anything, and even imagine that you don't have blocked account money, then you should at least have 1,000 to 2,000 euros to help you through any emergency. That is a very basic amount to have. You won't spend it, you would save most of it if there is no emergency. But if there is, then it gives you a good cushion to fall on. So I can't emphasize on this more for you to say stay safe and have a good time in your first month. Some banks in Germany for your current bank account. We have Sparkasse, Berliner Sparkasse, and Sparkasse in many other cities as well. Commerzbank, again, very common as more or less Sparkasse. Then we have N26, which is an online bank. You can, sometimes you also don't need an unmailed room, but it depends. Like getting a a bank account in N26 specifically depend on you and your condition, like and your application basically. Like I wasn't allowed, even though I have a residence permit for 3 years now, I wasn't allowed to make an N26 bank account because my residence permit was not in plastic form. It was in paper form. So it can just sometimes be unlucky. You can sometimes also be unlucky with N26. But sometimes you just get lucky. You never know. Then Deutsche Bank, of course, it's the German bank. Then Wise, Transfer Wise. It also comes with a slight interest if you put your money in the Wise account. I'm not wrong, but it's very less. Also Expatrio current accounts, but it is for block account users only right now. Then some bank rules. Of course, you must make an Anmeldung before going and opening your current bank account. So first Anmeldung, then current account, and then unfreeze the block account. This is the process. There is no other steps to it because you can't unfreeze a blocked account without having a current bank account. And you can't create a current bank account usually if you don't have an Anmeldung. Then book an appointment, be punctual. Don't panic in case not, if you are late or something, don't miss a class to just open a bank account, I must say. You can make a new appointment. They are there for you also. Think about it in this way, unless it's a very desperate situation in terms of funds. Gather all the important information and, of course, read everything. Use Google Lens. Sure, the documents could be in German, but use Google Lens and read everything. Take your time. Don't sign without reading it properly. Moving forward, travel versus health insurance. This was a question which was asked in this time's form, that what is the difference between different types of insurances and travel versus health insurance as well. So travel insurance is something that you apply before you apply for a visa. So it's required for you to travel basically. And health insurance is a must. You have no ways to save that money. It is about 120 euros, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But health insurance is something that every person, from the minute they enter in Germany, even if they travel for a month afterwards, the minute they enter, the minute they have a stamp, they must, because their purpose of living here is like residence. The purpose they are in this country is residence and not tourism. There are two distinctions: public health insurance versus private health insurance. And what does this grant you is that you can go to doctors and you don't have to pay for certain things which are already included in this insurance. So where you can look for doctors is usually doctorlib.de. It's the easiest. It has the most convenient filters, and almost all of the doctors are already registered on it. What is the distinction between private and public health insurance? So public ones are here and private ones are here. They are usually managed by non-profit health insurance funds. Usually they are something around 120 euros until your 31st birthday. TK, Technische Krankenkasse, is a big provider of public health insurance. And the best option for students is under the age of 30 years is public health insurance, because usually after the age of 30 years, the student insurance and everything is not provided by TK. They have many more conditions and it's a little more expensive also. Sometimes they don't even do it. It completely changes based on your condition. Now, about private health insurance, it is managed by private insurance companies. The cost depends on your age and your health condition. Everything is evaluated when you sign up. Usually they do have a strict condition, but also the coverage is more flexible. They cover more elements and more factors than a regular public health insurance. But again, read everything properly based on the insurance that you choose. And usually for students above the age of 30, the private health insurance is recommended. Does anybody have any questions till now? You can unmute yourself also. It's fine. No, okay. Everything is clear then, I believe. Um, is there Alles klar. Okay. Thank you. Moving forward. Observe and compare prices. So when shopping in Germany for specifically groceries, it is really helpful if you know the following facts: that there is no fixed price for articles, the same brand and the same product of the brand, of the same size, of the same packaging, everything same, might be for 2 euros in one store, and the store right next to it, it might be for €1.50, for example, €1.70. So there is never a fixed price for articles. Usually the range is similar, but you might end up saving a few bucks here and there. So different stores sells the same things at different amounts, and these widely depend on also customer response. So if how these prices are set is based on customer responses as well. So pro tip is always observe all supermarkets around you. Like in your first month, make sure that you experiment here and there, try out different products. Don't buy the same rice or the same milk. But sure, if you like it too much and if you feel that less options makes your life easier and money is not the only thing that is important here, sure. That is something that should go for you. There was a video here, which, okay, we'll move forward then. Furthering your resume, volunteering for university, specific, like for racing teams or marathons or even some small events helps a lot. Volunteering in NGOs and volunteering in student organizations really help. We are also a student organization with volunteering options, and of course, that comes with benefits of its own. You can always include it in your CV. Join summer schools. This sometimes helps you in adding to the furthering part, like what else are extra certifications in your resume. How this also helps is some summer schools come with ECTS. So if you feel like, okay, that your course does not have enough credits as a whole ECTS system, and you might want to do like a PhD or something. So you can slowly start looking for summer schools which offer these things, and you can include them in your resume, of course, because later on those ECTS will count up towards your end goal. Of course, attending talks, attending career fairs, attending conferences gives you more perspective and you get to know more people, and this helps you even find that first job maybe. So many such things can be very, very helpful in furthering the resume and also making like a career, maybe part-time career within job. Some extracurricular activities were also asked about in today's form. So usually in all universities, in all public universities, and even as a non-student of that university, even a student of a different university can join the course. And they have like an A to Z list of very fun sport courses. These sport courses, some of them could also be for free, but even the paid ones are not very expensive, not very expensive. And some of these courses are so new, I hadn't even heard about like a rowing sport or even bouldering. I did not know, but it is such a common thing to do within Germany. Usually these are given by freelancers who host different sessions within the city. So if you feel like, okay, out of 10 sessions that they are giving in the university, the time does not suit me. I have classes, I have something else, or I live too far, I can't make it, then you can still go for 1 or 2 sessions, and then you can exchange numbers with this person and attend their common sessions, which are more city oriented and maybe would be easier for you to manage because they are only once in a while and not the regular thing. Of course, I would like to emphasize on the DEGIS individual city Instagram pages where you can find a lot of information and also a lot of activities to do with the teams of DEGIS. Homesickness and culture was also something which is really, really asked in today's form. So people are very welcoming, but they are upfront. So don't shy away from making friends, but also don't cross someone's boundaries. Do not try to overpower, or do not try to press too hard on someone's, if someone's not interested in talking to you, or if someone feels like, okay, things are not very resonating on both fronts. Of course, winter comes with a lot of Christmas vibes starting early November. So pick a glass of glue wine and go to your nearest Christmas market. Do not miss them, they're awesome. And usually, summer is a good time to travel, but you still have some time right now. Like you can still travel a little bit, maybe this month or something, because November becomes really hard with respect to studies and everything as well. Some of your questions, which we answered during this call, was the cost of living and society standards, the best public health insurance for students, different types of rules we need to follow in Germany, what are the preferred areas to stay as a student, and social activities to do. So social activities we covered, but the stay as a student was something we covered in one of the previous accommodation related webinars. You can find that on YouTube as well. And you can watch that once again. Best bank accounts in Germany for students, and of course, language was a big question, considering which we came up with the final event of DEGIS webinar sessions, Welcome to Germany, is learning the German language. Here we will discuss all the cheap resources to learn German, free resources. Even we'll discuss some helpful books which can straight up fix your grammar errors in a very menial way, in a very primal way. And this can also improve your overall German language skills. We will also go over some common phrases that you can use. And this we will do with one of our city chapter presidents from city of Hanover. And he is fluent in German. He's from Mauritius, and he's currently doing his bachelor's in the German language as a medium. So it would be really fun. So I would recommend you all to register for that, and then I'll see you there. Apart from all this, I would like to draw your attention to our DEGIS volunteering program. We have different sectors where we love our city chapter volunteers to work in, and these sectors improve a lot of cross-cultural communication, as well as many hard skills as well as soft skills with respect to specifically communication. And secondarily, secondarily, basically creating stuff from the very scratch. And this is a high productivity, low pressure environment because, of course, you're all students working for fellow students. So we are allowed to make mistakes, and we appreciate mistakes as much as we celebrate victories. So we have different sectors you can work with us for. It's HR, marketing, events, business development, and of course, leadership. We are very, very actively looking for leaders in many, many cities, and you can find that out also on our DEGIS network. As a volunteer, you connect with the local community and gain a lot of practical experience to boost your future careers and some skills which only time and experience can teach, rather than that can be taught in a classroom. So we have currently completed from the webinar session 3 of the webinars. We had one more webinar scheduled for 31st. However, it clashes with Halloween, so we did not want you all to miss your Halloween parties. And also it clashes with Diwali, an Indian festival. So we also did not want to take away the holiday spirit from anybody to attend an event. So the next one we will meet on is 14th of November for learning the German language tips and tricks webinar with you. Final questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to turn on your mics and cameras. I am going to stop this recording.